On December 3rd, 1976, Bob Marley was shot by unknown gunmen inside his home at 56 Hope Road.
I was in a barrage, a gunshot.
Bob, of course, survived that assault and lived for another 5 years before passing from unrelated causes in 1981. But no such luck for fellow wailer Peter Tosh on September 11, 1987. On that day, 3 gunmen pumped a hail of bullets in Tosh and 6 others at his home in Kingston. Tosh and 2 of his colleagues succumbed to their bullet wounds.
According to the PIC, 3 gunmen traveling on motorcycles went to Tosh's residence and demanded money.
One of the 5 survivors is Carlton Santa Davis, who is on our stage right now, along with Donald Kinsey, guitarist for both Bob and Peter, and who was present at Bob's shooting in '76. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Donald,
Yes.
so good to have you, sir.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
Man, good to have you. Good to have you in the flesh.
A pleasure.
Let's start with you, Donald. What is your recall of the moment? How close were you to the incident?
The blessing was we was having rehearsal, and we had just took a break. We're fortunate that we took a break because if not, if we wasn't on break, everyone would have been in one room, and it probably would have been just a total massacre. But the fact that we took a break, myself, Don Taylor, and Bob, from the moment I heard the first shot, the 3 of us was in the kitchen.
Okay.
And at the kitchen was the back door to the backyard. And we saw it was a gunman with a black glove on and a gun. And so he just stuck his hand up through the back door and just started just opening up, letting go, and just until I guess he ran out of bullets.
Wow.
And like Don Taylor was like here, and I'm here, and Bob. We couldn't go nowhere because it was a very small kitchen, and the wall was at our back, and the only way out was to go past the back door and through the hall.
Wow.
So we just I was just there until I saw the gun go back out the door, and I said to myself, I'm still on my feet, and so I ran through and ducked behind one of the ammo cases, one of my amp cases, and I peeped and I watched, and Bob, he ran out and ran down the hall, and Don Taylor, when he come out, and he was just, blood was just coming out of him like crazy till he just collapsed.
And Rita was shot as well.
Yes, she was on her way out of the front gate. She was in her car, leaving when they blocked the gate and shot her.
Wow. So it was deliberate.
Yeah.
They wanted to take her out.
Oh man, I the way that happened, they wanted to try to take everybody out.
So you were very lucky.
I was blessed, brother.
Your experience was very different.
Yeah, way different,
You picked up a bullet yourself.
Yep. And, it is really funny because I've been hearing some stories. The word is that I got a shot in my shoulder.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, I got shot in my lung. My lung was punctured, and I had internal bleeding. So I didn't even realize how critical I was. Because after the whole incident, after the shooting and all that, I got up and I couldn't feel my left side, my whole left side, like it wasn't even there. So for one moment, I thought that my left hand was gone, But I felt, I said, well, it's here, but for some weird reason, this whole, what you call it, this quadrant of my body, was just like numb, it wasn't there. I was struggling to breathe, really struggling to breathe. I just decided, you know what, I have to go to the hospital. And I drive a stick shift. Luckily, it was a left-hand drive vehicle, right? So I could have used my right hand because, this side was incapacitated, right? And on my way to the hospital, I was driving like this. Cut long story short,
yes.
They took me in the emergency room and I was telling them, hey, Peter get shot and and a couple other people. So I was trying to give them information of who was supposed to be coming. And them said, don't worry about that. You don't worry about that. You got here you got here in the right time. Blah 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 blah. And the doctor was looking. They saw the entry wound, but they didn't see exit wound.
Okay.
And the doctor got frantic, like,
where's the bullet?
There's no exit wound, and they realized that I was bleeding internally. I was drowning in my blood, you know. They put some anesthetic and then cut my side, you know, and put a tube inside. And all of a sudden, because I'm laying down, and all of a sudden I see like a pipe. Blood just started coming out in this. They had this bottle about this tall, and all that blood was just pouring out in this thing. And that happened for like 5 days because they were saying that my lung came down to the side of a golf ball. So for 5 days, I was leaking blood in this bottle. After the 5th day, and they said, Mr. Davis, you have to get up and learn to walk again. The first day, I put my foot on the ground, half of the bed, is like jelly. The thing that I saw, you know, happened to my brethren beside me. I was like beside me like this.
Peter.
And you know, and people don't know these things. He was seriously pistol whipped, you know, before him get shot, you know. I've seen incident and heard incident, but to be that close to somebody being pistol whipped, I mean, steel meat and flesh, it's not a nice sound to hear. You know what I mean? So my brethren suffer.
It was robbery, we are told.
It was definitely robbery, but
and you resisted. You all resisted.
No,
that's the report.
No. Everybody here talk. Any word you hear on the street is what them hear. So I hear all these things because I run into some policeman one day, and I stand up and I hear them attack, you know, and them I say, yeah man, Peter boy, you say Peter get up and start karate the man all that. You know, Peter didn't do the martial arts thing. But this man I said, no, I'm here, so Peter get up and start martial art, karate the man them, and that's why I'm get shot. Nothing like that. Nobody resisted. Everyone in that room was like a lamb to the slaughter. Because you talk about the element of surprise, you know. Because it was, okay. So first, when the whole thing happened, right, Peter Tosh heard the sound, because he was sitting, which was the Marley sit down, there was like a window behind him. So he had like a good, you know, earshot to the gate, you know. So you know, him hear sound, and him tell one of the brethren, say, yo, go check and see who that. Because I'm either knocking or somebody a call, right? So him send the brethren and say, go see who that. Because people come visit Peter from time to time. And the brethren go downstairs and, you know, just ordinary thing, you know. And next thing I know, I see him walk, come back through the door, and he never look right in his face, you know. And as him come inside, the three brethren them come in and say, this is a hole up. Now at first, me think it was a joke. Because, you know, being a man that grew up in the ghetto, enough time your brethren them come in and pull all them gun and, for a moment, that's what it was. Like, that's a joke thing, because them start tell everybody for lay down, you know.
Yeah.
Them tell everybody for lay down. And me still sit down for my chair, so then it gets serious when the brethren come to me and say, yo, Jedi, if you go down to, you know. I said, okay. So, I lay down on the ground, but I don't know how I think of that. You know, like everybody was laying down like this. So for some weird reason, I lay down like, you know, like a dog, the dog lay down on so I was like this. That is what kind of saved me in the whole situation.
How close were you to Bob? What relationship did you have with him?
Oh man, by that time, I mean, you know, we had just come off of like almost 13 months on the road, man. We just came off of touring on the Rastaman Vibration
tour.
Yeah, you know, and so when we got back to Jamaica from that tour, it was like somebody just kind of like just asked Bob, hey Bob, when you gonna play for Jamaica?
There was a big concert being planned, and the story behind it, though we don't have time to go into all of it,
right,
was to get the two political parties, because it was a very, very tribalistic kind of energy in Jamaica at the time. The two warring factions, the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, and people were dying. And Bob wanted to be a peacemaker and planned to do the concert. And he was shot just 3 days before the concert. And he turned up at the concert. And all of you went.
No, not everybody. That was the other thing.
You went?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
some people didn't.
Right. You could. I mean, mostly everybody. Some people even left the country. You know, because they
were
you
scared.
could feel. Yeah, they could feel something coming on.
How did you feel about that?
Well, you know, I'm a brother that's very, you know, strong in my faith. You know, and I felt like the Almighty. He brought us. We survived that ambush, and
this was 3 days before the peace concert.
Yeah, there was this tension. I would go to Bob and say, "Bob, what's happening, man?" And, Bob, he said, "No, down, man. Everything's cool, man. Everything's all right, man." The day of the concert, the police. I don't know how they found out where I was at, but I stayed at some friend's house. They were airline stewardess, and when I went to the hotel after the night of the shooting, I told them what had happened. I saw them in the lounge, and they said, "Well, Donald, you can come over to our house." You know, so but the night of the hotel, the police came over and knocked on the door, man, and they said, "Donald Kinsey," and they said, "Yeah," and they said, "Bob wanted to talk to me." So they took me down to the Sheraton Hotel. I was up on about the 13th floor, but I talked to Bob by walkie-talkie. I could see the festival site from the balcony of where I was at, and talking to Bob, and Bob asking me, "Donald, what do you think about this?" You know, and I told him, I said, "Bob, man," I said, "the Almighty, he's seen us through this thing." I said, "Surely he's not gonna fail us now, bro." You know, cause I felt, I felt a strong energy that we can't let this stop, because Bob, the whole thing for this was about peace, and it was for the people, so I felt strongly about it, man, and I told Bob,
how was the energy for you in the venue, your own experience, that energy from the crowd?
It's hard to put in words, man. It was very overwhelming, man, and to see Bob, there and deliver his words, man, and to not let the people down, and to appear and not let none of that stop him from coming, man. It was just the greatest thing, man.
Santo, when you heard that Peter had passed, what went through your mind?
I was right there.
You were right there with him.
Yeah, because when they brought them in it was like a triage kind of thing, and Peter Tosh was to my left, and Freya was over here fighting for his life, and the doctors were like trying like hell, CPR and oxygen, they were doing everything. And I just heard the doctor say, "Oh, I'm afraid Mr. Tosh has left us." A policeman came to me in the hospital, and he said to me, "Man, Peter Tosh is the strongest man I ever see." I said, "Why you say that?" Him say, "The man come to hospital, come dead, and the whole line brain left in the house." For a moment, it never really clicked in, because I couldn't believe that Peter really gone. Even now, we talk about it, it's like, you kind of try to figure out if it really happened.
And the bullet is still lodged in you, isn't it?
Yeah, man, few centimeters from my spine. Because what really happened, if the shot had taken a straight trajectory,
yes,
it would have punctured my lungs and tear up other organs. What happened is, and it's like, a few years later, I realized what happened. My collarbone, what them call this is the clavicle, them call it the clavicle anyway. The bullet actually ricocheted off of my shoe, off of this bone, and turned. So that's why it ended up in my back.
What was going on in terms of career for Peter?
It was a preparation thing going on, because we had just finished No Nuclear War album.
Yes.
Right, we had just done that, and then was talking about plans going on stage, how we're gonna enter the stage, what kind of stuff, and there was a bunch of endorsement offers coming in. So there was a lot of preparation coming for the next.
Because wasn't he poised at that time? Wasn't the career on the rise? Wasn't there a whole new energy in the world for Peter Tosh to rise now?
Yes. He was ready. He was ready. You know what I mean? He was ready to go. You know, remember since '83 he didn't tour.
Yes.
So he had that layoff for a little bit, getting himself together and writing new music. You know, so he was ready.
But he had the success of the Mama Africa album, which was really helped his career. The Mama Africa album, he had quite a few singles off of it.
And you played on that too, right?
Yes, yes. And the single Johnny Be Good, you know, that really broke a lot of ground for Peter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So how do you remember Peter Tosh? What are some of your recalls? Because we see Peter in Jamaica, for example, we were scared of him. You know, the bush doctor.
Well,
the Mystic
check
Man.
it out.
The Mystic Man.
Yeah. All of them
always in runnings with police and so on.
Well, that's the thing. You see, all of these things, a lot of these was just myth. You have to live amongst the man to know the man. Peter Tosh was a regular human being. He had a great sense of humor. He was a very kind-hearted person. You know what I mean? If you need something, Peter would have make sure you get it.
Okay.
He would do anything possible as far as helping people. You know? But Peter was a man who stand for something. He was kind of, Peter went through a lot of stuff. Peter is the only man in Jamaica where you can say, advocate for herb and really suffer the consequences. You see what I'm saying? So Peter was a man who really speak his mind. And a lot of people never love him for that because he was outspoken.
Herb, which is the green gold now.
You see, and then that even messed with my head, like, how come Peter is not the big face of this thing in Jamaica right now?
Yes, and where's the apology?
You understand?
For what they have done to people like him, Rastafari.
Right.
Yes.
So Peter suffer a lot of indignation and, you know what I mean, just, you know, get beat. You know, him show me the spot in him head one time where the police them beat him within an inch of him life. And I might tell him, say, every time him touch it, him whole body would jump. You know what I mean? Something at the top of him head. And, you know, so Peter suffer a lot, but Peter Tosh was a great human being.
Yeah, man.
Great sense of humor, a very loving person. And if you would be in the company of Peter would crack jokes and talk about stuff when he was a child and stuff that he would remember, and they would just be laughter. Peter wasn't a man who hate people or have any racial thing, or, you know.
Bob, them, they got me into a way of the Rasta life. I mean, I mean, the whole thing of eating good, you know, I tell food, man, which was, you know, and the whole thing of exercising, you know, spending time with the Bible, reading, you know, it was a thing where you balance your physical, your spiritual, your mental. It was a complete condition type of life, man, you know. And the music stood for that, and it was, oh man, it was for me, man, it was the best thing that happened for me in my life. For when I come in contact with reggae music, you know.
Yes.
I mean, I come from a blues and gospel background.
In the U.S.
Yes.
Right.
So my father was a blues man grew up in the Delta, Mississippi. You know, he grew up with the generation of Muddy Waters, Bo Diddley, and those guys, you know, and so.
Was it reggae that found you, or you found it?
Well, I got together with my brother, my older brother. He's a drummer, Ralph Kinsey, and a bass player that was playing with in Albert's band when I first got with him. But we came together and made a trio by the name of White Lightning. We called it White Lightning. And so we came up with some songs, and we took Amtrak train from Indiana to New York City looking for a record deal. And so we finally knocked on Island Records.
Oh. You were knocking doors.
Yeah. So, and I saw these posters of this guy Bob Marley, man, in Island Records. You know, I had never heard of Bob Marley, had never heard of reggae music, you know, but I picked up some cassettes and took back to the hotel with me and clicked it in to my little boombox, man, and I was like, whoa. Well, you know, I instantly, like, just all over me, man, you know, because, you know, to me, I could feel it, you know what I mean? It was like blues and gospel, you know, it was roots, you know what I mean? I can feel everything about it. And I ended up getting a deal on Island Records, you know, and man, things, yeah, I never had no idea.
The rest is history.
I ended up playing guitar with him, man. It's weird how things happen, you know? I'm very thankful of my musical journey, and I was telling you, just of late, I was in the studio with Chronics.
Okay.
You know?
You were working Chronics. You're on the Chronology album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he spoke of some great musicians who is brought in to play on the album,
Right.
and you're one of them. So, Santa, sir, you're from where in Jamaica?
Kingston, I mean, Greenwich Town.
Greenwich Town.
Grew up at Greenwich Farm.
Music has been your life from...
My musical journey started at 11 years old at St. Peter Claver Drum Corps. There was a Catholic church up on Walton Park Road and Walton Park and St. Joseph Road. There was a Catholic church there. That's where my whole thing started as a kid, you know?
Okay.
Joined the drum corps and stayed there for like a couple of years until I was 16 years old. And 16 years old, I just hit the road running and started, I just, you know, the journey just kept going.
And Tosh, when did you become part of his aggregation?
I did recording with the Wailers when was the three of them together. And we did the original version. I did the original version of Sun is Shining. And that other song, Mr. Brown, and they redid it and called it Doppel Conqueror.
The concert, the big celebration happening now in Kingston. Your feeling, your vibe on it, your own being part of the World Sound and Power Band for this in Kingston, Jamaica.
My thing on it right now is a good beginning, you know?
It's a beginning.
Because this is the second year, right?
Second staging. Yeah.
So it is good that finally, you know, Peter Tosh start to, you know, get that lift again. Because, you know what I mean? So I think it's a great thing, and you know, more things going to come out of this. You know,
Yeah,
it's a good beginning.
I think it's good for the future of reggae music because of the youth of today. A lot of, you know, you'd be surprised with the youth that don't really know Peter. You know what I mean? And so hopefully it will, you know, get the youth more familiar with who Peter Tosh is, you know what I mean? And reggae music would not even be, you know, reggae music to the world if it wasn't for Peter Tosh and people like Peter and Bob, you know what I mean?
Gentlemen, wow,
Yes.
wow, what a chat.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate
Well,
it,
I
sir.
appreciate being on your show.
Thanks for coming
Yeah.
and sharing with us, Santa. And they're celebrating Peter Tosh right now in Kingston, Jamaica.
I'm a coming in hot, hot, hot. Fire in them shot. Said I'm a coming in hot.
And that's our show for this week. Winford Williams, on behalf of all of us, thanking you for joining us. Do join us again next week for more On Stage.
Deep down in Jamaica, close to Manderfield, yeah. Back up in the woods and top off a hill. There stood an old hut made of earth and wood. Where lived the country boy named Johnny B. Good. I said he never